Got the diff out.
Last 2 bolts on the steering rack.
Get the rack out of there. Really not fighting as bad like that rear end did us. So, here's the front diff. Let's see what all goodies is in that. New upgraded rack.
The old Rackzilla.
Same one that's in mine. That's been in there for a while, a long time.
Yeah. They work really well.
Yeah, better than Super ATV ones.
Yeah, so for the, what is it, about 120 more, 140 more? In my experience, I mean, I've had the Rack Boss and the, which one was it? The Super ATV brand and then the Rack Boss. Yeah, these definitely do hold up way nicer.
There you go, that was 7 feet through. Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, they're right there. Ooh.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just lay it aside. I mean, look at that angle. That's just for the tie rods. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. So that actually might be a Rackzilla.
Looks just like it.
Because for what I remember,
Well, it's got that bolt, and that one doesn't have that bolt.
No, the bolt comes in.
Oh.
No OEM rack, I don't think is black. Oh, but look at that.
Is it cracked?
Yeah.
Jeez, he probably got. I mean, that gun. You go big tires, big lift. It's gonna put pressure all on that rack.
All right, so we're gonna check out this front diff real quick. Where's our pry point? Nothing milky.
Little chocolate milk.
So I've got one of the new armature plates coming for this thing that actually.
You can see. I think you see kind of splinter cracks.
Yeah, it does look like a little crack there. Okay, so then that goes out. And you got that little spring, same way as yours.
It ain't the same one, is it? It's a little beefier than mine, isn't it?
It is a metal cage though. Ooh. Now, I am no expert, but look down in there. That's looks like that sucker got some hotness going on. You can even see down here.
Friction.
Yep. Look at that. That's all hot. All right. So pull this.
That cage don't look broken to me.
No. Okay, so other than that, let's check the pinion. Decent.
Maybe it just needed seals.
I mean, that doesn't. What is?
I don't understand.
It
doesn't make any sense.
And yes, I got a little too ahead of myself and didn't quite drain the fluid. With the new cage, though, it's gonna where these go, and then where the armature plate seats, how it's got just that many fingers. The new cage and the new armature plate I've got, it's got twice as many fingers, so it's gonna be there, 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 and there, all the way around. So it's gonna grab it better. But we'll clean all this stuff up and take a better look at it again, just kind of see what's going on with it. But he said it was skipping a lot, and with that being, like I said, I've never seen hubs that are heat treated like that, if they are heat treated or it is just a burned up. Okay, so where we left off on this differential is nothing really exciting happened other than the factory armature plate, I think, was warped and just not wearing well. You can tell by like the wear marks here and here on the inside that it just wasn't seating right, and that could have made it not, pull right. So went to Super ATV. I picked up their newer cage. It is the it's the springless cage. So there is no H clips here to set tension on and transfer those H clips, and that's kind of a weak point. So I went with that. I got a full video on this also. I'll link it down in the description. And their new armature plate that's got twice as many fingers. So now it's actually going to grip everywhere. Awesome product, awesome product. So we're going to go ahead and get this all installed. I already got the new seals all installed. Also, just to speed up the process. So let's get to it. Finally got a lot of parts today for this razor to get it put back together. I'm using the STV belt alignment tool, or the transmission alignment tool. It's just such a simple little tool, but it works so well and it gives you such a good peace of mind. So you slide this on. As you can tell, I had to put straps on it and wedge it up with blocks and the wedges here. So once these all get torqued down, which all these down this row are 17, that one there is 40. 64 foot-pounds on this one, and then there's a torque sequence on the back side here, which torques down to like 44 foot-pounds. So you go 3, first of all, that's 1, 2 on the back side, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come back down here to 7. These all have Loctite on there. They're all torqued down to 44 foot-pounds. And due to that, now this thing here slides in and out freely, other than, I mean, it's gonna, but yeah, as you can tell there, that's all nice and aligned as it can be. Simple tool, cheap, very effective, and you know you're not gonna have any more belt alignment issues, you're not gonna have any stretching, nothing. So ready to go. Now put it back on the housing after I put his new boots on there, ready to go. So slowly putting this thing back together, just kind of got the diff just set in there, and the Ragzilla kind of put in there. Everything's torqued down. New bolts at the U-joint there. Everything. The hardest time I'm trying to deal with, sorry about that. The hardest thing I'm dealing with now is the boots. The boots just don't really work with the big Heim joints on the Performance ATV tie rods, because this is them. These are the Heim joints that the boot is supposed to slip over. Before, it was kind of set up like this. I'm just trying to play with it, where the Heim joint is down in there, and the way this boot is supposed to stretch up and over this. And so that small hole right there is supposed to go over this, and then I actually didn't stretch out that one. I took the whole thing out, but this is not turning out. And if you look at, say, this one here, the whole thing's actually bent. Actually, it's bent downward. You can kind of see that right there. So this big old beefy tie rod is bent. So I'm gonna get with the owner tomorrow, see what he wants to do as far as replace it, whatnot, and try to see what they do with the boots. I'm sure they just say, yeah, you just put some grease on it, which I did, and just stretch them. Sounds like a great plan, sure. So that's where we're at now. But new bolts on everything that I can put back together, nice and easy. So you're not missing out on much, guys. Just simple, putting it back in, put it back together, trying to get this thing out of here. Front end's getting back together. Got all the A-arms and axles and everything back in. Everything is cleaned up. So gotta grease up those bearings, guys. Don't put a lot of pumps in there. Don't keep pumping it out until it starts squirting out just enough, like, I don't know, maybe 6 pumps or so. Over greasing it doesn't really cause no less problems than whatever it's, you know, just don't over grease them. Got that rack all bolted up. Still working with the tie rods here. These tie rods and Performance ATV, I'm sure this was an early gen lift. I'm sure it was, but just issue kind of after issue. These boots are just tight up in here. You got to put those up, secure them, which I just don't see them actually staying, but we'll see. You still got to kind of situate everything. Just kind of bolted up. The front diff bolted up fine, of course. I filled everything up with fluid, new and rear diff fluid. The clutches, on the other hand, they're going in fine, but the thing is if I can't get this on video, then I'll put up in the video. You see how those clutches are sitting? They say that is normal. The secondary, the primary and secondary are, of course, done, like I said, with that tool. They are spaced correctly. The secondary is non-adjustable. You can't move it in and out, but the belt is riding like that. And they say, yes, that is kind of normal. It's all right to have a little bit of in and out like that, because when they design it, they design the belt to be perfectly centered whenever this is crunched in and it is at rev. So when it's supposed to be revved up, it's supposed to be centered. You know, even if it wasn't, whatever, I can't adjust that. If there's a trick, if there's something I'm missing, let me know, because as far as I know, there's not. So anyways, the belt and everything is set up. The OEM belt is what I ended up using. All the rollers rolling fine. That's done, ready to put the cover on. Rear end's tight, just got to connect those sway bars again because that one is actually bent, which I think we're just going to leave off for a ride and see how it does. The front, this brake line right here, I don't know if this one was, like I said, a show bike for performance ATV or whatever, but this brake line here is way too short. It was actually on this side of the bleeder. I moved it down, still too short. So I have to go and get like a 3-foot brake line custom made and everything for it. So I went and took the brake line off and had a custom one made. It was 6 inches longer, which should be just fine, but it was done by a company called Axion here in Longview, and it looks great. It's a little bit bigger line, just a tad bit, or at least feels like it. The ends are nice and beefy, so the ends are all the same too. You got a 90 there and kind of like a little jet out, not quite a 45 or so, but I don't know if this was something or not that I posted up either, but he was running a Superstart Premium. That battery right there is actually a really good battery. It's all the specs and everything are great. It just doesn't quite have the capacity and the longevity of this Odyssey PC 1200. So ended up getting him that set up, and he should be able to run everything a whole lot better. Of course, the wiring is not the greatest. Never was, never intended to, didn't do it, I don't know, but that goes up there. And he said he's gonna be getting a new cage soon, so that's gonna be probably fixed, or hopefully, but. Finally finishing it up, getting it out of the garage. Is it? There a difference?